G'day guys, Josh here, and well, I commented about my voice will return for the next part of State of the Economy. Well, I had a big caster banger session, obviously, if you guys watch my Twitch. Oh, God. And also my chest muscle still hasn't healed either, so that hurt like hell. And like I say, it's getting very frustrating at the moment. But Lost Ark, on the other hand, well, it's going through another update cycle, and I can see here, there seems to be a new boss, as you can see here, which I didn't realize for Rowan as well. So it's good to see more content come on board as well. But overall, it's looking, well, with the economy so far, I think it's not going to move too much. I think, well, we'll see if it's not moved too much, actually. But there's been a few people who said in the comments that nothing's going to be really moving until March the 15th, which, could kind of agree with. In some aspects, but like not all aspects, given the fact that sometimes, like, basically from week to week, the market does move quite volatile, especially in Lost Ark at times. It can get quite volatile. But overall, it's been, I'd say it's been a pretty good week overall for myself. Basically, still very busy at my job as financial advising, and also was very, very busy casting this week as well. That's why the videos are today on Monday on the public holiday, which is incredibly fortunate, and not on Saturday and Sunday. And that could be the same for next Saturday and Sunday, given where the closed qualifiers are going to be for ANZ Champs for CSGO, which I cast. And also, you can imagine that I'm very, very happy that CSGO 2 is coming out. But we're here to watch a Lost Ark video, so don't really worry about that at the moment. So first things first, we're going to go check the busing scene. So we're going to check how the busing scene is. I'm going to be surprised if I don't see any players on for a busing scene at the moment, because it is it's a public holiday. But then again, we see a lot of bots here as well. And I did talk about this previously, because I said, hey mate, I knew that this was going to happen, where people are going to get a bunch of bots, going to get a bunch of Steam authenticated accounts, and the price is going to rise again. I mean, look at it already here. I mean, this is crazy. See? Absolutely crazy. 1.7k, 1.7k. There's like multiple of these, okay? And there's one guy here saying that Sprouts are cheaters, basically, as well, which he's completely right for. And you can see all these bot people, right here. Just, and also here again. I assume they use the notebook kind of strategy as well. I'm not sure. Like, the notebook strategy doesn't make sense to me. Someone actually explained it, saying that this means that they don't want to deal with the AH. So, it's one of those things that are really, really weird, where they say something that's like doesn't make sense to like the average person. Like, where notebook means like, oh, you bid on the book to pay us. But anyways, next time we go to Argos, I can say right now that you can probably see a lot of these bots in these sort of runs, essentially, as well. So fast card run, no book, pay 2 times, quick click, 2-man boss, free bid. Oh, jeez. A lot of people doing it really, really low these days, and also a few gold sellers as well. Voltan. Actually a few buses going on as well. I guess this is a public holiday, that's all, at the end of the day. Vicus has dropped as well. Used to be 4k, now it's 3.5k, 3k. I gotta say as well, like, there's a few, like, learning parties as well, which is pretty awesome, actually. It's good to see, because the biggest complaint I saw on videos was there was no learning parties. And people really, like, just kicked people out after one attempt and stuff like that. That was actually a bit of a nuisance back in the day when I played it heavily on Vicus and Voltan, as if people made, like, 1 or 2 mistakes, they were immediately booted out without any recourse. Now, I'm going to say honest mistakes, not people absolutely having no idea what the fight is and not using destruction bombs and stuff like that. Now, I guess to Cuckle Sidon, and I've got to say, they've actually got an AFK bus for this. Or semi-AFK. Okay. 18k, 15k. I'm actually just surprised. I remember saying this before, that I didn't think there would ever be a bus with Cuckle Sidon. The main thing is, like, you're versing a 4-man group to an 8-man group, where 8-man you can carry it at 1/8, but in a 4-man group, it's really hard to carry it at 1/4 kind of thing. Next up, we're going to get to Belshazzar. 18k, free bid for 1-4, so it looks like 1-4 can be carried now. And that's what I mean about 1-4 being able to carry it, or eventually be carried quicker to Cuckle Sided, which I was correct for. So you can see here that people getting, 15k as well, free bid, 1 slot. Look at those buses. Actually surprised that, people are able to bus all of this, okay? I'm genuinely surprised. Next up, we're going to go to the Mario store, and we're going to see how that's going at the moment. I would not be surprised if this price has gone up slightly, a lot. Okay, obviously, new still anniversary packs still here, people still buying them, and we're going to go to the currency exchange. I would be surprised if it's gone up. Yeah, it's gone up slightly, and I got to say this is going to continue to go up. I mean, 3.8k is probably not the end of it. It's probably going to get back up to 4.2k to 4.5k. This is why I was saying if you wanted to buy your blue crystals, you should have bought it immediately when the bots got banned, because basically the bots are going to find a way. Okay, they're just going to get a bunch of Steam authorized accounts, and they are back to selling gold once again. I mean, you saw it on the Abyss Dungeons. They're getting closer there. They're getting closer there. So you're gonna have, I reckon, you're gonna have to start buying up quickly if you can. If you can't buy up, well, you're gonna get back to those inflated prices pretty soon. I mean, that's a little point in the market where you could just pick it up, because they just banned a lot of the bots, and a lot of the gold got sucked out of the economy because gold sellers are putting it up. And at least we've got a measure of how much they're putting it up by as well, which is roughly about a quarter of the gold cost of a blue crystal price in the US West. Obviously, that's not a firm empirical data. It's just, of course, a one-off event in history, but you've got that little spot there as well. Next up, we're going to go to the AH. And the AH, well, is it looking good? Is it looking bad? We'll find out. So honing materials here, basically everything for tier 1, tier 2, other than the red is 1G. So you can see here, everything's 1G. Even the fusion materials are 1G, actually. I'm surprised if anyone's selling any Caldar fusion materials at this point. I guess some people might have it in their stash. Now, destruction stones at 4G, same with the protection stones as well for tier 4. Harmony leaf stones back down. Light sleeve stones start slightly back up. I've got to say, simple and basic. I did suggest that they may go higher, given the fact that people are going to make more of the new one, the superior one, than they are of these. Solar Graces have dropped dramatically. I mean, 50G to 24G. I don't think anyone's actually getting any of these support mats anymore, mainly because they're probably not useful anymore. Now, Superior Array is at 29, and I would say, depending on how you make these and how your honing is going, you may want to switch to some of these if they are easier for you to make in your stronghold. If Superiors and you need honing and stuff like that, just get the Superiors done, okay? They're a lot better. Now, Honor Leap Stones, Greater Honor Leap Stones, and Marvelous Leap Stones, they've dropped. Like, this is below 50G. This is, like I said, Honor Leap Stones probably stayed steady, and this is 66. Now, Solar Blessing's gone below 100G for the first time in quite a while, and Solar Protection's almost at 150G. These obviously support mats are going to keep dropping, obviously because of the fact you can't use them in the newer armor, I suppose, and it's just they provide like 0.25%, and they provide very little pity. So this is why it's going to absolutely plummet. Next up is the shard pouches. And actually, did I miss anything here? No, I didn't. Next up is the shard pouches. And you can see here, well, life shard pouches are super expensive at the moment. And, I'm just curious. So how many shard pouches have dropped back a bit as well. I'm just curious on how life shard pouches can be still so expensive. Because everyone was like, hamming up how, honor shards will be the next thing that everyone wants to get into, because you need a lot more to hone and stuff like that. But you can see now that it just doesn't seem true. Or I'm just not terribly too sure. Are we at the end of the hill where everyone's got their honor shards and they don't need it anymore? Or has there been so much free honor shards given out that preparation that people actually needed doesn't really exist anymore? And that people have already got their honor shards to go, or people prepared so much that the people who actually need honor shards is actually very far and few in between, and the ones who did prepare basically have all their shards good to go, and they can sell the surplus to everyone else. Because basically I think everyone was saying the same thing, like it was gospel, saying like this is what's going to happen and stuff like that. Next up, we'll check potions. So potions have gone up slightly. It used to be below 30G. It was the first time it was below 30G. Now they're back up to 33G. This could be just natural path of the market. It's going up, going down. Could be getting close to midweek, weekend. It's a public holiday. A lot of people trying to do raids because it's a free day. Probably could choose a case as well. Bit high at the moment, but, it's not a big jump. I mean, destruction bombs and corrosives going to stay at this point. Sleep bombs and pheromone bombs are a lot cheaper. It's actually the first time where there's actually a gap between sleep bombs and destruction bombs and pheromone bombs and corrosive. Like, that gap is there. Nothing really to worry about. Consumables overall are still very, very cheap. So, for the next content wave, you may want to stock up some and keep some in your, banks basically as well. Grenades still quite cheap as well. Whirlwind Grenade, Dark Grenade still getting a bit more expensive. Flash Grenade, Iron and Cleanup, a bit expensive as well. But I guess it's got not. It's actually got a pretty decent stagger to it, actually, which I'm a bit surprised by. But either way, still quite expensive. Now we're going to take a look at the steak, see how that is. The tier 2 food. Is tier 2 still more expensive? It isn't. It's good. I'm happy because I'm just kind of sick of tired of seeing tier 2 food more expensive than tier 3 food. Next up, we're going to check engravings. Also, as well, for flipping at the moment, I think it's more of a buy period. If you want to just buy anything up, that's probably what it is, because it's very, very cheap. It'll probably get a lot more expensive down the track when basically people are doing current content, but that's obviously not now. Now we're going to go to engravings. We get to the green engravings. Heavy armor's gone back down to the normal values now. As you can see, it's 1G. And a lot of these are, well... Sorry, guys. A lot of these are actually fairly cheap. Actually, never mind. It's always the class ones that always say. It's always the class ones that are stupidly expensive. But you can see here, as per usual, it's always the class ones. The combat ones are very, very cheap at the moment. As you can see here, you can see the price difference. I mean, the most expensive combat one, just raid captain's at 8G, and at least cheapest class one is at 20G. I mean, basically, if you want to get a combat one, you got it very, very cheap. But if you want to get a class one, it's just, ouch. Now, it seems like the overpriced area has moved from the green to the blues. As you can see here, like a lot of blue engraving books are now like 75, 70, 80, 75G. And I gotta say, that's probably gonna be more of the norm. And we've seen this happen multiple times. And also at the same time as well, I remember when these blue books were like 2G or 3G each. And now people are gonna have to pay 2kg just to get it. So it's just a week's work to get it. And as you can see, here's a mixture of engravings that are expensive. Obviously, towards the end of it, it's all just basically class ones. And I gotta say, Scrapper and Gunlance is very, very expensive here, as you can see here. For some of these, probably even more than some of their legendary engravings, I'm gonna say. Now, with epic books are realistically gonna be all 1G. Epic books are pretty easy to get. But however, some of the other expensive ones can be quite hard, and even the class ones are just still quite expensive. And you can see here, a lot of the class ones get up to 90, 98, and 100G. So if you've got some class ones locked behind you, basically, I'd say sell it at this point. It is quite high, which I'm really surprised by. Is it because people are shelving their characters and not doing raids in every single character, so less purple books drop? Or is it due to the fact that people are actually paying these prices for it? So looking at these things here, you can see here a few of them are quite cheap. The ones I obviously are not the best. The slight enhanced weapon finally gone back down. Dude, it was ridiculous. The enhanced weapon was like 3k. Enhanced weapon, I know it's good and all, but it's not a be-all and end-all for a Deadeye. The legendary engravings are looking pretty cheap at the moment. I mean, supercharge is below 1k. Maybe did they up legendary drop rate chances? Because Ambush Master is like way below. Like Hitmaster is incredibly low. I guess say with these engravings at the moment, you should be buying, if you're on purple engravings and you're ready to go, you should be buying up on these legendary engravings because they are stupidly cheap at the moment. Like incredibly cheap. I mean, you got heavy armor at 1.6k, Ambush Master at 2.3k, Hitmaster as well. Like some of the top tier engravings for legendary are really, 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 really cheap at the moment. And Grudge is also below 10k as well. I'm not saying buy Grudge immediately, but some of these engravings are quite cheap. I can imagine, not buying Desperate Salvation or Blessed Aura because they're quite expensive. KBW is a lot cheaper. Adrenaline is below, its price last week. But there's some of these here, especially that are a lot cheaper than they were previously. It might be, time to be like, hey, let's just buy some up. Obviously, you're not going to flip it because you can't flip engravings. But if you've got, maybe something you want to take, you want to get that 12x so you can make your build a lot better, this is the time to probably pop it up. And next up, we're going to go to the pets and skins. And this is probably going to be a quick rummage through because skins never really sell. And, well, this is showing even more so as only one. Oh, that was actually very, very liquid, actually, the Shadow of Stern set. But you can see here, it's still not very liquid. I guess the Midsummer one was a bit liquid too. Ooh, the adventurous skins. Well, people are buying the adventurous skins in the New Year, New Wish. I guess the cheaper skins are a lot more liquid as well. So if you're selling for like 33k and stuff like that, people will buy them. I mean, look at this. It seems like a lot of the other ones are just getting no love. Like whatsoever. I mean, look at that. I guess some of the cheaper skins are getting a lot more love than the other ones as well. As you can see here. Let's get to pets. Pets is a lot, I guess, shorter. I still don't understand why, basically, actually, there's no Totos on the market, okay. Pets have dropped substantially, actually. They're not really hooked to the gold price anymore. It's a bit sad to see. Well, finally, someone's actually taken all the cats off the AH. They were trying to overprice them. I reckon if they're going to do anything to cats, they should just underprice it in the cat selection chest. Makes it a bit cheap and a bit easier overall. It means it will actually sell. Okay, next up we're going to go to the gem price. And the gems, I gotta say, people use them for carries and stuff like that. But we're going to see how, how they're going on the gold price at the moment. Now, since the blue crystal price has moved up slightly, I expect the gem prices to move up slightly as well. But sometimes the gem prices don't get dictated by the gold. And you can see here now, it's dropped below 15k. Gold prices went up by 200g on the blue crystal prices. But you can see here, gems have taken a step back, and I think it's going onto the other side of the hill. So basically now all the average people have got it, and now it's going to that side of the hill where there's more net sellers than buyers, and people are just going to undercut each other to Kingdom Come. Or people buying more relic gems. We're going to test that theory as well as we go into the level 10 gem market. You can see here, they've dropped below 250. They've dropped below 250. We're going to check recent prices to make it a bit easier for us. And we're going to make sure that the sale price is the first thing that's first. So we got a level 10 Crimson selling for 220G. 220k, I mean, not 220G. That gave you some of you guys a heart attack. That was the lowest it sold for. And the damage one was still 600k that it sold for as well. So the Annihilation gems aren't moving, but the cooldown gems are moving to a point where no one's actually buying them because everyone's got level 10 cooldown gems, but everyone wants level 10 damage gems. Now, as you can see here, generally it is double or triple the price for, damage gems, but now it's no longer there anymore. Now I'm going to take a look at accessories. Now with accessories, you want to ignore anything that has like this ridiculous here because it's not going to happen. It's good to see though that some of the prices actually have gone, that's not some of the prices, but some of the bullshit has disappeared. Now you can see here, these are all gold sellers. Like generally when they have the exact amounts, they are gold sellers. And, the only things I'm really checking at 100 ones to see if they're any good or not. I mean, a heavy armor mass increase is not really worth 208k. And you can see here the exact figure is the ones I want to look out for because generally they are the gold sellers. 200k is another one as well. But I guess there's a few decent ones at 200k. I mean, the Grudge Communication Overflow is pretty decent. But there's, of course, I'm going to say here, there's a lot of, real life. What's the RMT here? Demonic Impulse, Deathblow, and Cursed Doll. There are a few good ones here as well. And I'm going to say, if you really want to find like a good item, you are definitely going, pages and pages into the AH because everything else is just gold sellers. Like literally everything else is just gold sellers at this point. There's a few people getting Enhanced Shield as well. I wouldn't be surprised if this is legitimate. Given that Enhanced Shield apparently is quite good for PvP. There's a few here. Demonic Impulse and KBW. So there are definitely, a few ones that are legitimate purchases. I mean, that was only 120k. I mean, KBW and a Grudge free for 108k, that's pretty cheap. Cursed Doll and KBW for 109. So yeah, there are definitely a few decent items you could pick up for just slightly more than 100k. But I gotta say that AH has been plagued and plagued with fucking gold sales. It's incredible. We're gonna move on to bracelets as well. Now you can see here, bracelets are still the same old kind of thing. Oh, Swift Attack. That's actually really good, though. I was actually going to say that's the first time I've seen an actual good bracelet. And it's also got a spec on it. Actually going to see a good proc on a bracelet, because all the other ones have been absolute garbage. I mean, Swift Attack is pretty decent. I mean, attack speed, movement speed, and 1,000 weapon power. Very, very good to see. Yeah, you can see the other ones. I still think Swiftest and Spec are probably the better ones at the moment for the bracelets. Last but not least, we're going to go to ability stones. It's getting a bit longer tooth, and of course you can see gold selling is rampant here as well. But we can get to back to normal by going through a few pages, and you can see here, I think it's just all the combat mats. Very shortly, like combat, yeah, it's an adrenaline ambush master. Basically, if you get any ability stone with two top tier, like, you know, combat traits, like, of course, maybe I'm an expert being 1.5k, that's audacious. Like, if you get Adrenaline Cursed All, you know, any DPS increasing significant that people will purchase, like Hitmaster, Ambush Master, Adrenaline, it is going to sell. Okay, it's definitely 100% going to sell for these high prices. And like I say, pretty much that's it for today for State of the Economy. Overall, I gotta say, basically, you know, accessory pricing getting a lot cheaper. I feel like we're getting over that hill where everyone actually has, you know, either they're happy with their best and sort of what they got, or they're not really pushing for that 1% upgrade, but they're happy with what they've got there. So they're happy with the fact that, hey, we've got, you know, decent accessories, we're killing brochures every week, I don't have to buy anything anymore. Like, you know, I don't have to get the 100 ring or whatever it is. So no one's really purchasing it. That's why the gems and, you know, other items are just going down and down and down, is because there's more suppliers now than buyers. So, you know, supply and demand, simply put. And that's where it's at the moment. Is that the economy is obviously, you know, it's becoming a lot more cheaper overall. This will actually help new players come back in. Obviously, the blue crystal market's not helping it. But like I said, the accessory market being a lot cheaper may help new players get back in, even though 100k gold is quite a lot. It is quite a lot. But it may be some cheap little things up there for, like, you know, 2k or 3k that they can easily pick up. And also the recent Fion changes, well, not recent because it was like 2 months ago, it also helps out as well. It also complements each other. But that's pretty much it. Overall, I've got to say, you know, Aurea's price is moving a bit forward. Engravings prices, especially in the blue, purple, and orange markets, moving back and also moving forward there. You can probably take advantage, especially if you want to get the next tier of content to make sure you get your 12x's. They are pretty cheap at the moment, which I'm really surprised by, because I know they've been trying to give out legendary engraving books to players, but I didn't expect the thing to go down by that much, like the market for legendary engravings. But anyways, guys, hope you guys have a great day and see you guys later. Peace out.